Greetings and welcome back to my channel. Since anytime it's right time for a ghost story, according to me, I decided to share with you a story about Borley Rectory. It has everything, from creepy noises, mysterious voices, to ghostly monk and even a creepy nun. I'm sure you're gonna love this one. It's been around for a very long time and it's still subject to debate. Was it all just a hoax or the hauntings are real? But before we start, please hit subscribe button, share and like the video. If you have any scary stories, real or fictional, videos or photos you would like to share, email is in the description box, so feel free to contact me. Okay, now we can get started. Borley Rectory was a house that gained infamy as the most haunted house in England, after being described as such by psychic researcher Harry Price. Built in 1862 to house the rector of the parish of Borley and his family, it was badly damaged by fire in 1939 and demolished in 1944. The large Gothic-style rectory in the village of Borley has been alleged to be haunted ever since it was built. This report multiplied suddenly in 1929 after the Daily Mirror published an account of a visit by paranormal researcher Harry Price, who wrote 2 books supporting claims of paranormal activity. Price's reports prompt a formal study by the Society of Psychical Research, which rejected most of the sightings as either imagined or fabricated and cast a doubt on Price's credibility. His claims are now generally discredited by ghost historians. However, neither the SPR reports nor the more recent biography of Price has quelled public interest in these stories, and new books and television documentaries continue to satisfy public fascination with the rectory. A short program commissioned by the BBC about the alleged manifestation, scheduled to be broadcasted in September 1956, was cancelled owing the concern about the possible legal actions by Marianne Foister, widow of the last rector to live in the house. Borley Rectory was constructed on Hall Road near Borley Church by the Reverend Henry Dawson Ellis Bull in 1862. He moved in a year after being named rector of the parish. The house replaced an earlier rectory on the site that has been destroyed by fire in 1841. It was eventually enlarged by the addition of a wing to house Bull's family of 14 children. The nearby church, the nave of which may date from the 12th century, serves a scattered rural community of 3 hamlets that makes up the parish. There are several substantial farmhouses and fragmentary remains of Borley Hall, once the seat of the Wadegrave family. Ghost hunters quote the legend of Benedictine monastery, supposedly built in this area in about 1382, according to which a monk from the monastery conducted a relationship with a nun from the nearby convent. After the affair was discovered, the monk was executed and the nun reportedly bricked up alive in the convent walls. It was confirmed in 1938 that this legend has no historical basis and seems to have been fabricated by the rector's children to romanticize their Gothic-style red brick rectory. The first paranormal events reportedly occurred in about 1863, since a few locals later remembered having heard unexplained footsteps within the house at about that time. On 28 July 1900, 4 daughters of the rector Henry Dawson Ellis Bull saw what they thought was the ghost of a nun at twilight, about 40 yards, 37 meters from the house. They tried to talk to it, but it disappeared as they got closer. The local organist Ernest Ambrose later said that the family as the rectory were very convinced that they had seen an apparition on several occasions. Various people claimed to have witnessed a variety of puzzling incidents, such as a phantom coach driven by two headless horsemen, during the next 4 decades. Bull died in 1892, and his son, the Reverend Harry Foister Bull, took over the living. On 9 June 1927, Harry Bull died and the rectory again became vacant. In the following year, on the 2nd day October, the Reverend Guy Eric Smith and his wife moved into the house. Soon after moving in, Smith's wife, while cleaning, came across a brown paper package containing the skull of a young woman. Shortly after, the family reported a variety of incidents, including the sounds of servant bells ringing despite their being disconnected, lights appearing in the windows, and unexplained footsteps. In addition, Smith's wife believed she saw a horse-drawn carriage at night. The Smiths contacted the Daily Mirror asking to be put in touch with Society for Psychical Research. On 10 June 1929, the newspaper sent a reporter who promptly wrote the first in series of articles detailing the mysteries of Borley. The paper also arranged for Harry Price, a paranormal researcher, to make his first visit to house. He arrived on 12 June, and immediately phenomenon of a new kind appeared, such as the throwing on stones, a vase, and other objects. Spirit messages were tapped out from the frame of a mirror. As soon as Price left, these ceased. Smith's wife later maintained that she already suspected Price, an expert conjurer, of falsifying the phenomenon. The Smiths left Borley on 14 July 1929, and the parish had some difficulty in finding a replacement. The following year, the Reverend Lionel Algernon Foister, a first cousin of Bull's, and his wife Mary Ann moved into rectory with their adopted daughter Adelaide on 16 October 1930. Lionel Foister wrote an account of various strange incidents that occurred between the time the Foisters moved in October 1935, which was sent to Harry Price. These included bell ringing, windows shattering, throwing of stones and bottles, wall writing, and the locking of their daughter in a room with no key. Marianne Foister reported to her husband a whole range of poltergeist phenomena that included her being thrown from her bed. On one occasion, Adelaide was attacked by something horrible. Foister tried twice to conduct an exorcism, but his efforts were fruitless. In the middle of the first exorcism, he was struck in the shoulder by a fist-sized stone. Because of the publicity in the Daily Mirror, these incidents attracted the attention of several psychic researchers, who after investigation were unanimous in suspecting that they were caused, consciously or unconsciously, by Marianne Foister. She later said that she felt that some of the incidents were caused by her husband in concert with one of the psychic researchers, but other events appeared to her to be genuine paranormal phenomenon. She later admitted that she was having a sexual relationship with the lodger Frank Perles, and that she used paranormal explanations to cover it up. The Foisters left Borley in October 1935 as a result of Lionel Foister's ill heart. Borley remained vacant for some time after the Foisters' departure. In May 1937, Price took out a year-long rental agreement with Queen's Anne Bounty, the owners of the property. Through an advertisement in the Times on 25 May 1937, the subsequent personal interviews, Price recruited a corps of 48 official observers, mostly students, who spent periods, mainly during weekends, at the rectory with instructions to report any phenomenon that occurred. In March 1938, Helen Glenville conducted a planchette séance in South London. Price reported that she made contact with two spirits, the first of which was that of a young nun who identified herself as Marie. According to the planchette story, Marie was a French nun who left the religious order and traveled to England to marry a member of the Waldegrave family, the owners of Borley's 17th century manor house, Borley Hall. She was said to have been murdered in an older building on the site of the rectory, and her body either buried in the cellar or thrown in the well. The wall writings were alleged to be her pleas for help. One read, "Marianne, please help me get out." The second spirit to be contacted identified himself as Sanex Amures and claimed that he would set fire to the rectory at 9 o'clock that night, 27 March 1938. He also said that at that time the bones of murdered person would be revealed. On 27 February 1939, the new owner of the rectory, Captain W. H. Gregson, was unpacking boxes and accidentally knocked over an oil lamp in the hallway. The fire quickly spread and the house was severely damaged. After investigation, the cause of the blaze, the insurance company, concluded that the fire has been started deliberately. A Miss Williams from nearby Borley Lodge said she saw the figure of the ghostly nun in the upstairs window, and, according to Harry Price, demanded a fee of 1 guinea for her story. In August 1943, Price conducted a brief dig in the cellars of the ruined house and discovered 2 bones thought to be of a young woman. The bones were given a Christian burial in Liston churchyard after the parish of Borley refused to allow the ceremony to take place on account of the local opinion that the bones found were those of a pig. After Price's death in 1948, Daily Mail reporter Charles Sutton accused him of faking phenomena. Sutton claimed that while visiting the rector with Price in 1929, he was hit on the head by a large pebble. Sutton stated that he seized Price and found his coat pockets filled with different-sized stones. In 1948, Eric Dingwall, Cage M. Goldney and Trevor H. Hall, 3 members of Society of Psychical Research, 2 of whom have been Price's most loyal assistants, investigated his claims about Borley. Their findings were published in the 1956 book The Haunting of Borley Rectory, which concluded that Price had fraudulently produced some of the phenomena. The Borley Report, as the SPR study has become known, stated that many of the phenomena were either faked or due to natural causes, such as rats and the strange acoustic attributes to the odd shape of the house. In their conclusions, Dingwall, Goldney and Hall wrote, "When analyzed, the evidence for hauntings and poltergeist activity for each and every period appears to diminish in force and finally to vanish away." Terence Heist wrote that Mrs. Marianne Foister, wife of Reverend Lionel Foister, who lived at the rectory from 1930 to 1935, was actively engaged in fraudulently creating haunted phenomenon. Price himself salted the mine and faked several phenomena while he was at the rectory. Marianne Foister later in her life admitted she had seen no apparitions and that the alleged ghostly noises were caused by the wind, friends she invited to the house, and in other cases by herself playing practical jokes on her husband. Many of the legends about the rectory have been invented. The children of the Reverend Harry Bull, who lived in the house before Lionel Foister, claimed to have seen nothing and were surprised they have been living in what was described as England's most haunted house. Robert Hastings was one of the few SPR researchers to defend Price. Price's literary executors Paul Taubery and Peter Underwood has also defended Price against accusation of fraud. A similar approach was made by Evan Banks in 1996. Michael Coleman, in an SPR report in 1997, wrote Price's defenders are unable to rebut the criticism convincingly. Leave the comment and let me know what do you guys think about this story. Was it all just a hoax made up by researcher Harry Price, or there is something more? I would really like to hear what you think. Thank you again for stopping by, and before you leave, please subscribe and hit the like button. And if you need copyright-free background videos, subscribe to my other channel, Monarch Free Videos, and you can use whatever you like in any way you like. You don't need to ask for the permission. That said, stay safe and I'll see you soon.